Alright, well, welcome to the City of Sturgis Wastewater Laboratory. You already had a tour of what the outside of the plant. Well, this is what we're looking at on the inside. This is what comes out of our influent. This is right after grit and screenings from the Headworks building. You can see it's pretty murky. This is actually one of our test parameters that we have to follow, and this is suspended solids. So what we do is we run a portion of a sample through a filter. We catch the solids that are suspended in the water, then we measure it and weigh it, and then that tells us the milligrams per liter that we need to follow. And it goes to our finals, and this is our final settling process. You can see it's a lot more clear, and this actually is what is being sent right directly to the river. In the laboratory itself, we measure pH. We have 2 meters here. We measure pH. We measure ammonia. We measure residual chlorine, which is due to us using chlorine for disinfection. We have to make sure that we are below the allowable parameter to go into the river, which is 0.038 milligrams per liter. We just measured we use this to measure our suspended solids, which I showed you on the filters earlier. We run a certain amount through, and then that helps us calculate our math to figure out our milligrams per liter. We also run our Eco-Coliform Test over here. As you can see here, there are these little blue spots. These are colonies. So this is what we count for our test. And as you can see, there's only 3 colonies that you would count on this. So this is what we have for going out to the river. We only have 3 parts, or 3 milligrams per liter of Eco-Coliform going out. And then you take the average of both of them. This is our desiccator. This is basically for keeping any moisture out of our filters, because we are measuring in milligrams per liter down to the 10,000th of a gram. So we're very precise on what we're weighing, and anything, any dust, any grease or oil film from your fingers can get stuck to these dishes, and actually it can influence your weight that you're getting out of your sample. We also run a total solids, and this is actually the primary sludge that I showed you earlier. We dry it. So it goes in a drying oven at 104 degrees Celsius. It's in there for 12 to 16 hours, and this is what it comes out. We basically remove all the moisture out of it, so we're weighing the solids that are in our sludge, and that gives us our percentage of solids that we have. Then that also lets us know how our clarifiers are behaving, and if we're removing enough sludge at a time. After our solids is dried, we will then burn it, and it goes into a oven at 550 degrees Celsius, which is approximately 700 degrees Fahrenheit, and we burn it off for 10 minutes. This here is our BOD incubator, our Biochemical Oxygen Demand Incubator. This is another test that we have to run daily. This test requires 5 days of incubation. Dark. There's no light in there. You cannot have any outside influence on these bottles that go in. So once you run the test, you measure them out, you add your chemicals and everything that you need, you incubate it for 5 days, then we bring them back out. So what we're measuring is the dissolved oxygen in the water itself. And we do this for every process throughout our plant. And we take an initial dissolved oxygen reading, record it on our bench sheet, incubate it for 5 days at 20 degrees. We remove them, we measure that bottle again to see what residual dissolved oxygen is in that bottle. A lot of math, a lot of precise measuring, and making sure that things are done in a sanitary way. That's what we're trying to do here, to make sure that we keep the river clean and what we put out there is treated the best that we can.
We use teamwork at the wastewater treatment plant is very critical. We are a very small team. We only have 5 people, so everyone has to cover each other's back. And when we're working on projects, it's usually 2-3 people on the job, just so everyone's safe and the job gets done properly. Can you work with a partner to clean your water sample?